Be honest, how many hours have you spent highlighting a textbook only to realize you don't remember a single word? Most of us were never actually taught how to revise. We just read, highlight, and hope for the best. But today, we're ending the rereading trap. I'm breaking down the 6 most effective, science-backed revision techniques that will actually move information from your paper to your permanent memory. We're talking Feynman, active recall, blurting, and more. Plus, I'll show you the exact apps that make these 10 times easier. First up, the king of all study methods, active recall. Most people study by putting information in reading. Active recall is about pulling information out. Instead of reading your notes, close the book and ask yourself, what did I just learn? You are literally strengthening the neural pathways in your brain every time you struggle to remember. It's supposed to be hard. That's how you know it's working. Pro tip, don't just do this once. Use spaced repetition, reviewing the same topic in increasing intervals, 1 day later, 3 days, 1 week to beat the forgetting curve. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. That's the Feynman technique. Choose a concept. Pretend you're teaching it to a child, or a rubber duck. Identify the gaps where you get stuck. Go back to the source material to fix those gaps. This is the best way to tackle complex subjects like physics or economics because it strips away the jargon and forces you to master the logic. Is blurting. This is the ultimate stress test for your memory. Read a chapter for 10 minutes, then close the book. Grab a blank sheet of paper and blurt out every single thing you remember, diagrams, dates, keywords. Once you're done, grab a red pen, open your book, and see what you missed. The stuff in red. That's exactly what you need to focus on in your next session. It's fast, it's messy, and it's incredibly effective. The visual learners, we have mind maps. Don't just make them pretty, make them useful. Use them to see the big picture connections between topics. Then for the small picture dates, vocab, formulas, use flashcards. The secret here, 1 question per card. Keep them atomic. If a card is too wordy, you'll end up just recognizing the paragraph instead of actually learning the facts. You wouldn't practice for a marathon by just reading about running, right? So don't practice for an exam by just reading notes. Past papers are your best friend. The traditional view of academic revision is often synonymous with a grind. A monotonous cycle of highlighting text, rereading notes, and hoping that information miraculously adheres to the long-term memory. However, cognitive science suggests that the most effective learning occurs not through input, but through output. This process, known as retrieval practice, is most potent when structured as a self-generated test. By transforming the test from a source of anxiety into a creative, gamified, and iterative project, students can master complex subjects while actually enjoying the process. Creating effective, fun, and interesting tests is an art form that bridges the gap between passive consumption and active mastery. The philosophy of the architect-student. To create an effective test, one must first adopt the mindset of an architect rather than a recipient. When you design a test, you are forced to look at your syllabus through a lens of hierarchy and priority. You begin to ask, what is the core of this concept, and what are the peripheral details? This metacognitive shift is the first step in deep revision. An effective self-made test should follow the principles of Bloom's taxonomy, moving from simple recall to complex evaluation. A boring test only asks for definitions. An interesting test asks for applications. For example, instead of asking for the definition of inflation, in an economics test, an effective question might present a fictional scenario. If the kingdom of Westeros suddenly discovered a mountain of gold, how would the price of bread change, and which social class would suffer most? By framing questions within a narrative or a what-if scenario, the brain engages with the material more vividly, making the retrieval process far more memorable. Designing the combat simulator. The secret to making tests fun lies in borrowing elements from game design, challenge, variety, and narrative. A 1,000-word essay could not encompass every strategy, but the most effective, fun tests utilize a question matrix. This matrix should include diverse formats to keep the brain alert. One engaging format is the Spot the Saboteur question. Here, You write a summary of a historical event or a scientific process, but intentionally include 3 subtle factual errors. The test is to identify and correct them. This requires a much higher level of scrutiny than a standard multiple-choice question. Another format is the cross-pollination challenge, where you pick 2 unrelated topics from your syllabus, for instance, cell mitosis and industrial revolution, and force yourself to find a metaphorical or structural connection between them. These creative constraints turn revision into a puzzle-solving exercise. Furthermore, visual learners can incorporate deconstructed diagrams. Take a complex map or anatomical drawing, cover the labels with digital fog or physical sticky notes, and attempt to reconstruct the entire system from memory. The tactile and visual nature of this task breaks the monotony of text-based learning and provides immediate, satisfying feedback. The gamified evaluation, HP, XP, and power-ups. The primary reason students dislike tests is the binary nature of the result, pass or fail. To make evaluation a productive form of revision, the grading system must be redesigned to focus on growth and leveling up. Imagine your revision session has a health bar, HP. You start with 100 HP. A correct answer on a Level 1 question grants you experience points, XP, while a mistake on a Level 3 boss question might take away 20 HP. If your health drops to 0, the game isn't over. You simply enter a power-up phase. This is a mandatory 15-minute deep dive into the specific topic that killed you. Once you've reviewed the material, you respawn and try a similar question again. This removes the sting of failure and replaces it with a mechanical consequence that directly aids learning. A more analytical approach to evaluation is the traffic light audit. After taking your self-generated test, mark your answers in 3 colors. Green means you got it right and felt confident. These topics are moved to a spaced repetition schedule for later. Amber means you got it right but hesitated or guessed. These require a refresher session within 24 hours. Red means you were completely lost. These become the main quests for your next study block. This visual representation of progress allows you to see your map of knowledge being filled in, providing a hit of dopamine as the red zones slowly turn green. 2026 tools, the tech-enhanced revision. In the current landscape of 2026, technology has made the creation of these tests more seamless than ever. Artificial intelligence tools can now act as a dungeon master for your studies. Apps like Note or QuizGecko allow you to upload your messy lecture notes and instantly transform them into a battle mode quiz. You can instruct the AI to challenge me like a harsh examiner or explain my mistakes like a supportive coach. However, the most effective use of technology remains spaced repetition systems, SRS like Anki. By converting your most difficult self-test questions into digital flashcards, you ensure that the fun doesn't end with one session. The software tracks your evaluation data and represents the red and amber topics at the precise moment your brain is about to forget them. This marriage of creative test design and algorithmic scheduling is the gold standard for modern academics. Evaluation as the ultimate revision. The final stage of evaluating your progress is the teach-to-learn phase. To truly test if you have mastered a topic, try to explain your test results to someone else, a friend, a parent, or even a voice recorder. If you can explain why you got a question wrong and how the correct logic works in simple terms, you have achieved the highest level of cognitive integration. In conclusion, creating effective tests is not about duplicating the stress of a final exam. It is about building a playground for your intellect. By designing questions that challenge your creativity, using gamified evaluation metrics to track your progress, and leveraging modern technology to manage your knowledge gaps, you turn revision into a journey of discovery. When testing becomes a game you want to play, the work of studying disappears, leaving behind only the satisfaction of mastery and the confidence to face any external exam with ease. The student who knows how to test themselves is a student who can never truly fail. Do them under timed conditions. No notes, no music, no snacks. This builds exam stamina and teaches you the specific way examiners word their questions. It turns anxiety into familiarity. Oh, make this all stick, you need the right tools. To make this all stick, you need the right tools. Quizlet, perfect for quick, gamified flashcards and huge pre-made decks. Revision isn't about working longer, it's about working smarter. Pick 2 of these techniques to try tomorrow. Maybe start with blurting and use Quizlet to polish up the gaps. And lastly, here are some fun ways to incorporate revision of concepts along with some tips and tricks. You can sing your notes. Creating songs or raps about academic formulas and facts helps information stick, similar to how you remember lyrics to your favorite songs. The laughing rule. If you are having fun and laughing while revising, you are more likely to remember the information. Move while you review. Walking around the house while listening to recorded voice notes of your own revision can boost memory retention. Revision should be short and sweet. It is more effective to use short bursts of intense focus, like the Pomodoro technique, rather than long, draining cram sessions. Visuals stick faster. Creating colorful mind maps, flowcharts, or doodling diagrams creates, on average, more pathways to recall information than just text. Your phone can be helpful. Instead of just wasting time, you can use your phone to record revision notes to listen back to later. You should revise difficult things first, starting with the hardest topics rather than the ones you enjoy or are already comfortable with is a more strategic and effective way to prepare for exams. Don't just highlight. Highlighting everything is useless. Instead, focus on using bright, bold markers only for key terms and try to summarize pages into simple diagrams. It's a second look. The word revision literally means to see again, allowing you to revisit and repair your understanding of a topic. Use visuals for complex ideas. Using a diagram, timeline, or flowchart can make complex information easier to understand and remember. It's not just about memory. Proper revision helps you reorganize information in your brain to answer questions more thoughtfully, rather than just reciting facts. Turn it into a game. Turn flashcards into a game with friends or family to make the process of testing your knowledge more engaging. Teach others. Explaining a concept to someone else is a powerful way to solidify your own understanding and memory of a topic. With this, we are going to wrap up our today's discussion. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and comment below which technique you're going to try first. Good luck from the 10-Minute Science team. You've got this. See you in the next one.